Howdy, folks. It's the Solo Gamer, also known as Matt, and I'm back in Star Trek Online, once again commanding the invasion. And today we're going to do one of the story missions and recently released Axiom, which I honestly think was actually really well done, if a little bit slower paced than I would have liked. But it's a continuation of the current Etherean storyline, where we get a distress call. The Hugh and the Borg cooperative and all that are involved. They brought back the actor from the original series to do it, which I thought was fantastic. So I'm all on board for that. But I'm very much of the opinion that it's looking like this could be really good if they could just pick up the freaking pace, because it takes forever for this stuff to get released. It's not like this shit's cutting edge, so it's not like it's that bad. The Ramazad.
What a surprise! I didn't expect to see you here.
Hey, Kamarke.
I'm responding to a call from Director Hugh of the Cooperative Borg. The Lucari Concordium has recently chosen me as their ambassador for all things Borg. He asked me to join him here to help with another incursion. I've been here for quite a while now. I'm not sure he's coming. I agree. He's typically quite punctual. So I've heard, anyway. Well, I'm afraid I've also come across some starship debris in the system that I have yet to identify. It appears we're arriving at the aftermath of a tense clash. I suggest we try and find the director together. With your permission, I'll set up a sensor link so that our ships can share any data we find.
Granted, let's do it.
Sensor link is active. Let's start with the ship debris up ahead. Let's see. Sensors are picking up microscopic fragments of advanced regenerative circuitry, nanites, and decentralized control system debris. This is most certainly a full and cooperative probe. Something must have happened to their fleet. Let's hurry. There's more debris over there.
Whatever it was, it tore through them pretty quick, it looks like.
Scans indicate high-density alloy and further Borg circuitry fragments. Disruptive, not regenerative. In any case, this is not cooperative debris. The quantum signature doesn't even match our universe.
Interesting.
Look out! Control Borg sphere incoming!
Not for long.
Well done. That certainly explains the debris quantum signature. Let's continue. I see a final cluster of debris up ahead. This fractal alloy is unlike any debris I've ever seen. It's protected by a quantum dispersal field. Someone must have come back to scatter the ship's debris signature. Its origin is untraceable. Heads up! Subspace sensors are picking up residual distortion nearby. A warp trail. Recalibrating sensor array frequencies.
I found
Tachyon
it.
decay and subspace phase variances suggest this warp trail is 2 hours old. We should get closer. There might be survivors. Oh dear. Sensor readings are fluctuating erratically due to the magnetic properties of dense asteroids nearby. It's the Harmony. What's Tassin Faye's ship doing here?
That's a good question, ain't it?
Perhaps Tassin Faye was called in to help as well. The vessel seems to be suffering from multiple systems failures. They may require assistance. Shall we send out a hail?
I think that's a good idea. Let's send up the frequencies.
Right. Starship Harmony, this is Admiral Kumar K of the LSS Ruskava. Come in. Tassian Faye, do you copy?
Take it that's a no.
No response. Complete calm silence. I know this isn't exactly standard. You're right.
Got it.
It's no use. The magnetic properties of the denser asteroids near the ship are interfering with our... An excellent idea.
Let's tractor this thing away then, shall we?
Subspace transmission detailing our intentions. I should be able to transmit it on a narrow enough frequency for it to bypass the interference, but we're unlikely to be met with a response, I'm afraid. Here's hoping Tassine Faye is able to receive it, and that we aren't breaking with any Etherean customs.
Fair enough.
Right. I have identified a section of the Ramizan system where signals are not compromised by the asteroids. Meet me there.
Righto, let's go.
Who would have thought that you'd be towing the Harmony today?
It wasn't on my list of expected events. The ship isn't really built for this kind of work, but okay. At least if we come under attack, my fighters can buy me a little time to disengage and get with the blasting.
The ship is still too close to the asteroids. Just a little further. It's working! The interference is subsiding. I suggest we try a final hail before we scan again. Starship Harmony, this is Admiral Kumarke. Do you copy? Starship Harmony. Ensign Farunte, what's your assessment?
The Harmony might be experiencing a communications blackout, Admiral. This is likely unrelated to the interference caused by any asteroids.
So what's blocking out their comms is the question.
Well, time really could be of the essence. We still have no idea where the director is, or if he... This doesn't look good. Shields are lowered. I'm not detecting any breaches, so it must have been done voluntarily. The scans also indicate that the atmospheric conditions aboard the ship are highly unusual, and only just able to accommodate other species. Furthermore, the ship itself is exhibiting properties that are consistent with a multidimensional vortex. It's as if it is phasing in and out of existence, or at least parts of it seem to be. What's more, multiple sections of the ship seem to be under strict lockdown.
Sounds like an issue. Looks like going in is the only choice.
I agree. I recommend we stay on high alert. Who knows what caused the ship's partial lockdown? This mission could be quite dangerous, especially if the Ethereans are unresponsive.
You alright with that, Kamarke?
Quite sure, but I do appreciate you asking. I would rather face my fears head-on than retreat to the proverbial shadows. It's been quite good for me. I feel empowered, actually.
Well, fair enough. Let's get on with this. I'm going into the darkness. I'm glad to have you at my back.
You read my mind. Ship systems should have logged our attempts at establishing contact before beaming down. That said, I'm not sure I trust the accuracy of any of our current scans, given the situation. One last thing. I do recommend we leave our bridge officers behind for now. I don't feel comfortable sending anyone else down there before conducting a preliminary assessment. Ready when you are.
Let's get to it then. Hopefully I'm equipped and armed well enough to deal with whatever comes along. Oh, that's disconcerting.
It's beautiful.
That it is. I do kind of love the crystalline design aesthetic the Ethereans have.
It looks like the hallway behind us is locked. In fact, this room is under full lockdown, which I suspect will be true of most of the rooms we will encounter aboard the Harmony. Bypassing security lockouts might require some thinking outside the triangle. Or box? It's an Earth saying.
You got the idea.
I suggest we take a look around. Perhaps there's another way out. Let's tread carefully.
We're on an alien ship with unknown status, alone with just the two of us. Tread carefully is kind of required, I think. Full system lockdown? Bypass.
Maybe this will allow us to open the door to the hallway behind us.
Well, we can hope. But I'm very concerned that that's not going to be good enough, but we'll see. Give me 1 second. Trying to refill my drink real quick. One thing I will always say is make sure you've got something around to keep you hydrated. It's very important. I do love the fact that she has like little idle animations to fill time if you're delaying for any reason. There we go. Sorry. Oh god, soda companies really need to stop fucking around with the bottle caps. Anyway, let's get that door open.
No, the security clearance required to bypass this console is too high. We won't be able to go this way. Let's look around. Optimizing tricorders for environmental scanning. What a unique structure. Optimizing for material analysis. Incredible. These polygonal wall structures act as data nodes.
That doesn't sound right. Not the first time I've seen the species use wall-mounted or even roof-mounted polygonal objects as data nodes. Granted, last time
It appears
it wasn't
they
as
store
pretty.
recordings of events that have happened aboard the ship. They contain both visual and auditory data. In any case, it looks like this room's lockdown has been bypassed. Well done. All right, we'd better stay alert. We don't know what the consequences of bypassing the security measures aboard this ship are. For all we know, it could mean a variety of automated countermeasures, or perhaps none at all.
given the situation. Let's keep scanning for abnormalities along the way until we get to the bottom of this. Lead the way.
Agreed on that. So
It's very empty in here. I wonder where all the crew members are.
that don't fit. I do love how her tricorder is like so bulky and old school science fiction-y. Through harmony we are secure.
That's what Tarsine Faye always says.
Like a
I
guiding
have a
principle
word?
or an axiom.
I'm feeling a little uneasy. No, not about the possibility of finding a Borg incursion aboard. It's about the comment I made earlier, about being watched. It was meant to be light-hearted, but I'm starting to think we are being monitored. It doesn't help that this room is on lockdown as well, and it looks like this interesting. Instead of recording in real time, we could recalibrate the output so that the node plays back a recording from the past. At some point, someone aboard this ship must have input the console code needed to unlock this room. Such a recording might also provide us with insight into what happened aboard the Harmony.
Yeah, but I bet them nodes are encrypted.
Spot on! I would need to input some kind of information about the data we want to access in order to bypass any encrypted subroutines. In theory, this would allow me to recalibrate the node's parameters to play back an older recording, though I'd have to reconfigure the node's memory buffer array to act as a hollow matrix interface instead. In other words, the node will no longer function as a recording subsystem, but as a hollow emitter, activated by a...
Remodulated tricorder.
I have to say, even though I'm not pleased about reverse engineering Etherian technology without authorization, the science behind this is quite exciting. Hopefully, Tarsine Faye will understand.
Yeah, well, we don't have a choice. We gotta risk it. Let's do it.
If you scan the room for information, I will begin recalibrating the node's parameters.
Well then, let's get to it.
Reconfiguring memory array to optimize for hollow emission output. Remodulating tricorders. Integrating environmental data to bypass encryptions. Done. The system is active. Shall we give it a try?
Well, there's Hugh and a couple of Borg and Tarsine Faye.
This technology looks like a fragment of a larger piece.
Yeah, no, this don't add up. This don't feel right.
Director Hugh, it is good to finally meet you face to face.
So, you said you needed help.
It worked! So, both Director Hugh and Tarsine Faye were aboard the Harmony. What's more, the decay rate of the chronoton particles emitted by these projections placed the recording approximately 1 hour before the Harmony's warp trail signature in Ramizad. It's likely that whatever battle took place out there occurred after the Director beamed aboard. Curious. It's a start. However, I'm sure you've noticed that these recording fragments are both static and out of order. The node's harmonic emitters didn't take too kindly to being tampered with. I doubt we'll be able to play out the full animated sequence of events. Place these fragments in the correct order. What happened first?
The greeting,
Right.
obviously.
Tossing Fay welcomed Director Hugh and his bridge officers aboard the Harmony.
Scanning the
After
technology.
Tossing Fay welcomed Director Hugh and his bridge officers aboard, Director Hugh scanned a piece of technology which he considered to be part of a fragment of a larger piece. So, naturally,
They
the
then
fragments
departed.
have been placed in the correct order. First, Tossing Fay welcomed Director Hugh. We did it! Right. I've fed the data back into the node in the correct order this time. We should be...
Off we go.
Director Hugh, it is good to finally meet you face to face. I have heard a lot about you and your skill set.
We were just seeing Faye. Please call me Hugh. Likewise, I've heard a lot about the Etherians. So, you said you needed help.
Yes, a piece of our technology has been found aboard the Harmony. We may be compromised.
Let's see. You're right. This is control board technology, all right. And yet, the energy signature isn't an exact match. This technology looks like a fragment of a larger piece. We'll need to locate the rest of it before I can make an assessment.
Of course, our diplomatic coders are available should you wish to stay longer for this assessment. Please excuse the furnishing. Under normal circumstances, we redress our rooms for all our guests.
Well, these circumstances are far from normal. But that won't be necessary. We won't be staying long.
I see. How unfortunate. Perhaps another time. In that case, please follow me.
Well, there's the code.
Great teamwork. We've pieced it all together. It looks like Exactly. Fortunately, the data node recording also shows the console code used by Tarsine Fay to bypass security. I suggest we look out for other consoles along the way. Perhaps we'll be able to use this method again. This probably also won't be the last data. So it
let's get
seems
going.
like the starship debris we found earlier might have been control Borg then. If we proceed, the door behind us will likely lock. We'll need to choose a path. Right behind you.
Hello.
This looks like a social lounge. I didn't know the Etherians were so willing to host.
Huh.
Very
Interesting.
hospitable, though a little deserted for my taste.
Fair enough, but is there any data we can get here?
Perhaps it's related to stellar research. I'm surprised I haven't been contacted about this.
That is kind of weird.
I take it these are the redressed diplomatic quarters Tarsine Fay spoke of in the data node recording. I must say, I wasn't aware that a diplomatic meeting had been scheduled between any Lucari ambassadors and Etherians.
These quarters do seem kind of
Right.
empty.
Perhaps this is for a future meeting that hasn't been coordinated yet. Director Hugh did mention abnormal circumstances in that recording. It's possible the situation is far more dire than we had imagined. I'll be Oh my.
Good idea.
These are almost identical to the furnishings of Lucari diplomatic quarters. It seems like the Etherians have replicated our style almost to perfection.
Yeah, no, that don't feel right. Yeah, no. What I've got's more than enough.
This looks like a shortcut. It's one of Director Hugh's officers.
He ain't looking so good.
We better help them. Shields are still down.
Now let's get this poor sod off the ship before he's real dead.
This isn't good. We need to figure out what... That's the spirit! Our tricorders are already remodulated.
Yeah, let's see what we can scan out of this stuff.
I'm feeling less guilty about tampering with Etherian technology. Our allies could be in danger. Recalibrating parameters. Almost there. Got it. The fragments should be ready to play.
So what happened here?
I will lead you to our lower decks.
Well, that doesn't seem right.
Watch out!
That looked like a control board jumping in to cause trouble. Huh.
What are you doing?
It worked! Unlike the last recording we watched, these initial fragments seem to be in the right order. That means tossing... However, my scans indicate the presence of corrupted data located inside the memory buffers. One of the following fragments does not align with the expected data intervals of the recording. That is to say, one of the recordings of Director Hugh, perhaps. We can't rule it out, but that doesn't seem like something the Control Borg would do. It seems a little too Which fragment was artificially added to the data node? Right. An unknown construct appeared. The falsified fragment has been identified. First, Tassin Fey told Director Hugh and his Brit. Well done. That's it. It wasn't a control Borg that fired at Director Hugh's officer, but an unknown construct.
So
It seems
someone was trying to hide the fact that
Theory?
they snuck attack
the
Hugh and his
corrupted
team.
data has been removed.
That sounds about
successfully.
right.
The full sequence of events is now ready.
Then let's see what happened, shall we?
It is a shame you are not staying longer. We have much to discuss. I am curious about the Liberation Force.
this is where you found the control boarding party?
Indeed.
Do you know how they were able to bypass your shields?
We are uncertain. Several malfunctions have been reported. No conclusions have been drawn yet.
She's lying.
What are you doing?
This was not supposed to happen.
Get behind me!
My word, so that's what actually happened. It seems like an Etherian security system of some sort attacked Director Hugh and his officers. But by Luca, I cannot imagine why someone would come back afterwards to plant a falsified recording implicating the Borg. It's beyond me.
Yeah, that does seem kind of weird.
In any case, Tassine Fei's remark is important. If the Etherian security system has gone rogue, there might be more for us to worry about than Control Borg. Fortunately, this recording also shows the console code used to activate this portal. I suppose it will lead to the lower decks. Here's...
Let's get going then.
I believe this calls for the Earth saying, "Here goes nothing."
Got that right.
These lower decks sure are darker.
You noticed. Yeah. This don't...
A word.
Yeah, you alright?
Yes. I mean, I think so. I feel confident that we are on the right track, especially after seeing both Director Hugh and Tassine Fei pass through here. And yet, I just feel unsettled. There's something not quite right about all of this. Do you feel it too?
Yeah. This feels
Before we
fucked.
move on,
This feels
I
royally
want to
screwed
make
and I don't like
sure
it.
You know that you can count on me. Entirely. Last time we underwent a mission together, I told you I wasn't certain I'd be a reliable ally against Borg forces. That's not the case anymore. I feel stronger than ever. Although I still have some reservations, I won't be showing up late to the party this time. Well, I'm
got you
glad
covered.
that's settled. Let's get back to business. This room? Exactly. You know the drill. If you search the room for information, I'll begin recalibrating the data node's parameters. Those encryption subroutines won't stand a chance. I admit, I'm feeling apprehensive.
Yeah, well,
What we're about to see next could be very telling.
Yeah, well, this shit looks fucked. I'm telling you that. Well, let's find out.
Integrating the environmental information. Bypassing encryptions. All done. The fragments are ready to play.
Unit Bridge, requesting immediate backup.
There has been a grave misunderstanding.
I don't know. It looks like you're trying to murk Hugh. Just saying.
Fret not, Director. We will not let you perish.
perish? Did they really get into some kind of near-fatal altercation?
Now,
can't
this
even
doesn't
imagine
feel
it.
right.
Tassin Fei is our ally and friend. There must be more to this. Unfortunately, my scans suggest that the node's memory buffer may be overloaded. Over time, this could lead to slight alterations in recorded material due to deletions or simplifications, for example. So rather than an artificial addition, it seems to be a corrupt which data node fragment was altered. The altered fragment has been identified. Director Hugh raised his weapon at Tassin Fei, but he was not critically wounded. Finally, Tassin Fei lifted his body out of the room. By Luca, we did it. I was hoping for this outcome. Hopefully this means that Director Hugh was not gravely injured.
Now, let's find out the details, shall we?
Due to bridge, requesting immediate backup.
There has been a grave misunderstanding.
I can see that. What the hell is going on here?
Our security system is registering you and your officers as prime Borg.
Tassim Fei, I really don't want to take down your construct. Get them to stand down.
I understand. This will be necessary. You will be neutralized until we can repair our systems.
Neutralized? Okay, we might be getting lost in translation, but that's not happening.
Fret not, Director. We will not let you perish.
Okay, yeah, no, that didn't look good.
You shall be consumed and defeated anew.
By Luca, we did it. I was hoping for this outcome. Hopefully this means that Director Hugh was not gravely injured. Let's see what actually happened here. The full sequence is ready to play. Tassin Fei's choice seems somewhat abrupt. It certainly wouldn't be acceptable by Lucari diplomatic standards. But if she intends to uplift him anew, as she said, perhaps she only meant to conceal Director Hugh's biosigns from her security system.
I don't know. You don't mind blast someone and then assume that they're going to be friendly about it.
Ethereum customs could be wildly different from mine or yours. Perhaps this is not as transgressive as it seems. I agree. Let's input the console code so we can move on and beam in some backup. The coordinates might be a little off as we are unfamiliar with the Harmony's exotic interdimensional topography. Beam-in could be delayed, and the exact arrival position unknown.
We'll make it work.
Admiral Kumarke to the Rescava. We are requesting backup aboard the Harmony. Director Hugh is down. I repeat, Director Hugh is down.
Admiral Kumarke, this is Ensign Varunte reporting in. We have notified both of your crews. We're struggling to get a lock on your position. We'll beam someone down as soon as we can.
Copy that, Varunte. Right. Let's not waste a moment.
I agree, let's get going.
That's Director Hugh's other officer. Let's stabilize.
Let's get him back on his feet. This metal plasma cannon will take care of them no
No
trouble.
match for us. Unsurprisingly, this room is also on lockdown. We'll need to figure out how to move on without a recording of Tarsin Fei's console code. We could take a swift look around. What an incredible astrometrics laboratory. I never imagined Etherians to be galactic strategists, though. Perhaps they are less quick to trust others than I had originally thought. This star chart shows an array of interlinked gateways placed across a vast number of alternate dimensions.
So what, multiverse hopping?
Fascinating. I haven't seen many other species use gateways as a means of transportation.
Other than the Iconians.
Cybernetic onslaught. It seems these military texts describe the battle the Etherians. Perhaps the military texts hold the key to our exit.
I do agree. Let's find out.
That didn't work. That's it. Well done.
Through unity we are strong.
Lead the way.
Same coding as before.
Rogue security system constructs up ahead.
Time to deploy some extra firepower.
Let's keep moving.
Those ambush turrets are so broken. I got them as part of another storyline, and they actually just bulldoze your way through most enemies.
Look out! Control Borg heading our way. They must be beaming in from other sections of the ship.
Okay, so all that readaptation didn't matter once I remodulated and just blast you to bits.
Etherian living quarters?
They don't
Oddly
look like
enough,
it.
it sort of looks familiar.
No, that doesn't look like living quarters. Ooh, polar and white beam pistol. Does it do appreciably more damage than my available firepower? No. Disappointing, but I'll sell off the leftovers.
Look out! Control Borg heading our way.
Well, if that's the best these Borg have, this ought to last about 5 minutes. Switch over to my corrosive plasma cannon. Hello.
Oh my. It's a whole wall of Grandad Bexes. But why? Perhaps this is how Etherians honor their fallen.
No. These are replicas. Reproductions, clones, androids, I don't know. But they are definitely not graves or effigies. That is super creepy. They all look exactly the same, though. Each and every one of these is a different model. Different variant, different version. And, makes me feel like maybe, just maybe, these Etherians ain't on the up and up. Why would you need a room full of war droids or whatever the fuck these things are?
I'm picking up life signs nearby. Admiral
Kumarke, this is Ensign Varun. Understood. I'll send the coordinates.
And Ensign? Tell them to be careful, please. This ship is packed with Borg.
And some rogue security.
It seems the Etherians use these energy portals to get from one level of their ship to the next. I wonder how many there are aboard the Harmony. In any case, this Etherian...
Admiral Kumarke.
They did, and not a moment too soon, Varun. I'll be right behind you.
Let's get into the fight and get this done.
It seems there are no data nodes in this room. And still, let's try the console at the end of the room. Neuro drills? Hydroponics pods? Is this a sick bay or a science lab? Nothing here. We'll have to keep looking.
Who says it couldn't be
Rogue
both?
security system incoming! Our console interaction must have activated them. They're stronger than the last ones! Well done. Quite the interaction. Now, where were we?
Alright, let's find out what these guys are on about. Through blink, we are blank. A redacted axiom? That's weird. Why redact your ideologies unless they might be perceived as threatening or offensive?
It does seem like a line from Tarsian Fey's axiom. Through harmony we are secure, through unity we are strong. Perhaps me neither, not in any of my interactions with Tarsian Fey.
Tal Shiar?
This is a partial biomedical display of Etherian energy readings. These These readings indicate the presence of enhanced sensory organs, regenerative internal probes, and an energy-based core. It looks like the Etherian anatomical composition is 70% biological, 30% mechanical, and the rest of the data is missing. Strange. Perhaps there's
lock it
another
and move.
console in this room that contains the access code to the door. Heads up! Rogue security system incoming again! Predictable, I suppose.
Yeah, nothing that we can't handle.
They've upped their offensive, likely due to a perceived increase in threat level aboard the ship.
Well, they're not wrong.
Oh, I'm glad that's over. Let's try another console. That's it! The door is open! I'm detecting a lifetime. Cognitive functions are compatible with the cooperative Borg. We're getting closer.
Let's get him going and get out of here. Stasis pods?
What is this place? Look! It's Director Hugh!
He looks alive to me.
We better check his vitals. The Director's life signs are stable, but he's been put into a stasis. Scans show the pods are equipped with an integrated dispenser valve and a medic. That would do it. Look out! It's the Etherian security system!
Let's nuke this and be done with it. Thank you.
Scanning the Director's pod must have alerted them.
Let's get some more backup on this battlefield, shall we? How's he taking control of my goddamn drone? I do not appreciate.
We can hardly catch a break, can we? Let's activate the pod's dispenser. Excellent! The cordrazine should kick in shortly. It looks like getting out of this pod from the inside is the tricky part. Excellent idea! Not my speciality, though, I'm afraid. Indeed, we could target the control panel with a localized EMP to fry the locking mech. The choice is yours.
I'm an engineer.
Let's give it a try.
Let's break this man loose.
That's it! We can open the pod. Director Hugh, are you okay?
Where are my officers?
They're safe. They're on the Rescava. We beamed them out, but we've yet to find Tassim
Forget
Faye.
Faye. We need to get off this ship I'm worried about Tassine Faye too, but not the way you are. The Ethereans? They've been lying to us. Here, look.
It's the missing data from the Etherean lab.
Through harmony, we are secure.
These biosigns.
Through unity, we are strong.
I don't understand. They're consistent with...
With the Borg.
Borg. Yes. But also,
Through fusion, we are victorious.
Iconians.
Goddamn Iconians. Every single time I kill these sons of bitches, they come back and I have to kill them again.
look out! Getting away!
What was that?
A problem for later. Its escape has triggered some kind of red alert. Shields are up.
Damn, there goes our plan of beaming out.
There might be another way.
I should hope so.
Not the way I'd usually greet an ally of your distinction, but I suppose this is somewhat of a unique situation. I'll save the details of my gratitude for later. Needless to say, I owe you one. As for our escape plan, the Ray's shields do pose a problem. However, during my brief time aboard the Etherean ship, I learned that beaming out might not be the only option at our disposal.
Right. The Harmony's wall structures act as data nodes that store recordings of past events.
Your creativity is commendable. Well, however daunting that must have seemed, Tassine Faye's neutralization wasn't as effective as she'd hoped. It looks like the Ethereans don't know enough about liberated Borg biology to knock us out entirely. Not yet, anyway. While I was being carried through the Etherean lab, slipping in and out of consciousness, I managed to send out a correct. This nanoprobe retrieves key data that is considered either useful or harmful. In this case, that included the hybrid Borg and Iconian biological composition of the Ethereans, which the probe classified as potentially harmful. However, that's not all. The nanoprobe also detected massive energy spikes coming from a room on this level, up ahead. The energy type, it could be Iconian. Hard to say. Your guess is as good as mine. Most importantly, my intelligence suggests the Ethereans are not on their side. Or ours. At least not for now. Well, as a liberated Borg, or XB, as we used to call ourselves, I have hope that any civilization or individual might be open to reform.
I'm doubtful.
If they are anything like the Borg, or ancient Iconians we know of, then there might be a way to help them. But this isn't a hypothesis I'll live to test out if we don't get moving. That's a lesson I learned the hard way on another mission. So let's table this talk for a safer environment.
Agreed.
Let's get out of here before more pots explode.
Let's move and get the heck out of here before this gets any worse.
The Harmony's defenses have blocked the path behind us. Call me Hugh. I've spent far too many stardates as a nameless.
Hugh it is. What are those?
Assimilation pods. Heads up. We got company.
You don't say.
Typically, I recommend setting phasers to stun, but that's a dance with assimilation I'd rather avoid, Admiral. Another hostile wave of Ethereans incoming. Your reputation precedes you. Well done.
I always come packing the biggest, baddest, and heaviest firepower. Maybe an engineer, but I know how to fight when I need to. Let's level the playing field.
All right, let's go. My nanoprobe is detecting elevated levels of gamma radiation nearby.
A reactor.
The Harmony's core.
Granddad Bex!
The Etherians have lowered some sort of fractal containment fields blocking our path.
Leave it to me. I've become quite the expert on Etherian security systems.
Understood. We'll keep the Etherians at bay in the meantime.
Resist and you shall crumble. Accept and you shall ascend.
Another one? This influx seems endless.
There's a full room of these things completely outfitted for combat.
How's it looking, Admiral?
Almost there. The fractal containment field has been lowered.
Let's go.
Incredible.
Collaboration is fruitful. Why such discord in the face of harmony?
He is teleporting away. That's our chance. Let's get out of here.
I hope you're right about that gateway technology.
Way out here, that's for dang sure.
A magnetic containment field protecting a cube-shaped reactor core.
Looks familiar, right? If only my tour had started in this room.
It's quite the display for a reactor core. It must be important to them.
Trapped again. It did seem too easy.
You're right, Hugh. These Granddad Bexes are beaming in with no end in sight.
There must be another way to defeat them.
I have a plan, but it's risky.
I'm all ears.
If we lower its containment field, we could fire at the reactor core to initiate a breach.
Yes, because warp core
What about
breach
the gamma
inside is a
radiation
good
leaking
idea.
into the room, and the potential loss of life aboard the ship?
I'm willing to bet that putting the core at risk will initiate an emergency power transfer protocol. This would divert all main energy back to the core's containment field, interrupting Etherian transport.
And likely divert power from the fractal containment fields too. A hell of a plan, Admiral.
And we'd have to backtrack into the room to carry it out.
A risk worth taking. Let's do it.
I'll get to work on this fractal containment field. The field has been lowered.
Let's act quickly. The Etherians aren't messing around.
I'm on it. Cover me. Reconfiguring security parameters.
How much longer, Admiral?
10 seconds.
You've got 5.
Done. The magnetic containment field has been lowered. Target the reactor core.
Right, let's nuke this thing.
Radiation levels are rising. We need to leave.
Let's go.
Yes, we do.
The control panel is malfunctioning. Cover me. I just need a couple of seconds.
Your second life awaits you, Hugh.
There. It's open. Where's Hugh?
There's something I need to do.
Radiation levels are too high. We need to leave. Emergency systems might seal this section off. This could be our last chance.
I know. That's why you should go ahead without me.
You can't save him, Hugh.
I gotta try.
I know, but if I can get through, for even just a second, then it's worth a shot. I have to try.
Yep. Credit where it's due.
We can't leave him behind.
Grendat Bex, that's your name, right? Where's Tassine Faye?
We are Grendat Bex. We are Tessine Faye. We are all at once, and soon you shall be too.
I'd rather die than be reassimilated.
It is the only way. Uprisers shall be quelled. Deniers shall be fused. You must join us. You must ascend.
Listen, it doesn't have to be like this. My people have the means to restore your freedom.
You misunderstand. We are free. We have long been freed from the shackles of Iconian rigor, and we have taken what serves us best from the Borg. We are evolved.
See, the trouble is, I think you think you're free, but you're not. Everything you're saying right now, that sounds an awful lot like a collective I used to be a part of. You think you don't have a choice, but if you ask me, you've just forgotten how to choose.
You are mistaken. We do not choose the ether. It chooses us. We follow its path.
Oh, for crying out loud,
Well,
Hugh. Just
A
blast
wise
him.
man once told me, even when you think you don't have a choice, there always is one. I might not be able to help you now, but maybe I'll be able to help you one day. No one is beyond redemption.
Good shot. Now let's leave.
We need to leave now.
I'm sorry. Follow me.
Incredible.
Admiral Kumarke, I've been told your scientific expertise lies in stellar stabilization and planetary restoration. How do you fare with gateway stabilization and remodulation?
You are in luck. These aren't too dissimilar from the Tourette system gateway we encountered recently. I should be able to modify one of the gateway's frequencies.
Perfect. In the meantime, I'll send out a call to the cooperative for additional backup. If my earlier distress
The Rescava is on standby. Right.
Let's
I'll get
do
started on the
this.
gateway.
Heads up! More hostile Etherians incoming.
Through harmony, we are secure. Through unity, we are strong.
Gonna turn this entire battleground.
Through fusion, we are victorious.
Time now.
The gateway is active.
Nicely done, Admiral Kumarke. Well, no time.
Let's go. We don't have time. Alright, so now that that's done, I believe it's time for the space battle.
Glad to see you made it in one piece.
Loud and clear. It's good to see you both back on your ships. But
Friends, this truly has been a grave misunderstanding. Remnants of our Iconian heritage, yes. To protect you from your own assumptions, of course. For your own benefit, on your path to a greater truth. The only truth. We seek not to harm you, but to welcome you. As we eventually did with the Borg, we stand on the precipice of a new era, led by the Aether.
You're crazy.
It does not have to be. Today's events are a testament to our strength in dealing with unforeseen adversity. We are now sure than ever that we can be more than allies. We can be one. Do you not? Was it not? Our mistake.
There must be a diplomatic way forward, even after today. Tassin Fei, my people and I, we can help you. The cooperative advocates for the free Borg. Our reclamation methods are consistently evolving and improving, and yet the core of our mission remains the same. A liberated...
Tassin Fei, I strongly suggest you consider this offer. It might be the only chance you get before the galaxy turns against you for your duplicity.
The galaxy will turn against its sun long before it turns against us. We will watch from afar as factions burn and tear each other apart. It is your rejection of perfection is disappointing. We were hoping you would see the light.
I don't think so. Get ready to
Your ship
burn.
is compromised, Justine Faye. Stand down.
You walk the path the ether has laid before you, friend.
Friend. You are no friend. Friends do not force themselves to join their collective race.
Alright, here we go. Now we're in the fight. Now you can see why this thing is such a beast. Because while on its own, it's not that powerful. Sure. But when you combine its fighter craft, the literal wall of drone ships I've assigned to it, this thing can handle itself exceptionally well. Let's use flagship back in us up.
The theory is also called for backup.
Justine Faye.
Harmony is settled on conflict.
Fine then. If it's war they wish. Let's finish this off, shall we?
Harmony repairs are nearing completion. Brace yourself.
The Harmony is disengaging.
It's not a fight they can win and they know it.
Reality vortices. I thought only the mirror Borg used those.
Let her go. This is just the beginning.
Control Borg incoming. Justine Faye, let them through reality vortex.
No, she didn't need the cooperative help afterwards.
Probably.
Complication and the cover.
Except we're alive to reveal the truth of it. I very much doubt these few Borg can match up to us. The invasion was built to fight them, after all.
Another wave of control Borg incoming.
Our records suggest any others did their dirty work. Well, no, I guess we crushed them.
Good to know.
Good rest. The fight's not over yet.
Oh, I'm just getting warmed up.
Vortices are closing. Need to use them all back up on our side.
I made the call. Any moment now.
is taking an utter, absolute whooping with this fire battle. Shields are down, but that's okay. Engineering fleet, engage and begin repairs. Hardly a threat.
Backup arriving just in time never hurts. However, Sassine Faye is still out there somewhere, and what she said about the galaxy turning against itself may be true. Reports of Borg incursions are multiplying by the stardate, with an unusual increase in infighting of right. We may well and truly be on the precipice of a new era. As Sassine Faye said, for now let's return to safety and regather our strength. More Ethereans could arrive unannounced at any moment. I will mask our warp signatures so we can return safely. A little trick I picked up during my unfortunate time in captivity many years ago. Once we're out of harm's way, I'll contact you to send over any information the cooperative... Oh, before you leave, I wanted to thank you for coming to my aid. There was a time in which a person like you might have left a liberated Borg like me behind. I'm touched to see this is no longer the case. Though we are no longer the most despised people in the galaxy, forging alliances is still a delicate endeavor for us. This means a lot to me, and the cooperative.
You've changed and become a better person in those days. Glad to see some of Picard's influence rubbed off on you.
By my side through it all. We make quite the team. It only pains me that Tassine Faye was never really part of it. Yes, the Tholians never really took to the Ethereans, did they? In any case, I must...
Let's beat it. I'm not listening to the argument. I gotta go. Whoops. What the crap?
Did your warp out also...
More money.
Did your warp out also malfunction? How odd.
Alright. That's that. So, that is Axiom Part 2, I believe. Or it's Part 2 of the Etherean story anyway, but I liked it. I like the whole mystery. I like the fact that there's a lot of stuff. It's pretty
It
neat.
appears they are alternate universe Iconians, who fused with the Borg to forgo assimilation, an event as yet unheard of. Their advanced Iconian technology and knack for deception has also been cause for big concern. Multiple reports of cooperative ship malfunctions after first contact with the Ethereans have now surfaced.
Alright, cool. Alright, so I'm gonna pause it here. That took longer than I anticipated. Longest video I've done yet. I will see you guys next time. Solo Gamer, this is Matt, signing off.